And turns out it was Ovidio Guzman's mom. It was blood everywhere.
Wow.
So I found a hole on the wall on the wire he had on the wall, and I literally jumped over the fucking hole inside his house. Blood all over, man. I was like stepping in sticky blood all over.
No kidding.
Yeah, dude. Like,
And you have footage of this?
I have footage of that shit, man.
Can we put it in?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send you the footage. It's crazy stuff. Picked me up, took me to the hotel. I called a photographer, a local photographer. Said like, hey, dude, you wanna join with me? I need photos, I need video, and I'm doing this shit. I understand if you feel sketched out, but I'm doing it. And he's like, yes, let's do it, man. I'll go with you. Brave dude. And we went up to Jesus Maria, of course, all the way up to Jesus Maria. There were still like burned trucks, burned buses, like hand grenades all over. It was a war zone up there. And as we got to Jesus Maria, there was a checkpoint from the Sinaloa cartel henchmen, a lot of sicarios on motorcycles driving around the arcs that said, welcome to Jesus Maria.
Do you have footage of this?
Yes, all of this stuff, it's on my channel. I did like a short documentary. Like, I recorded everything as I arrived into the city, as I drove up all the way there. So we went in and we started approaching Ovidio Guzman's house. And as we approached, I watched this woman and a bunch of suited guys. And my photographer said like, oh, it's the Fiscalia, the General Attorney's Office, so we're good. There's government. And I'm like, okay, so we're safe. Jumped out of the car with my camera in hand. And then this woman starts saying, no. And then these dudes jump at me. And then he's like, oh shit, this is not government. And it turns out it was Ovidio Guzman's mom, former wife of El Chapo, she also has a $5 million bounty by the U.S. government for being involved in the Sinaloa cartel. So she immediately starts telling me like, no, just get the fuck away. And I'm not recording. I don't have my camera on. I just want to talk to you and probably go inside Ovidio's house. And she's like, no, just get the fuck away from here. And these dudes told me like, just get the fuck away. If you want to interview neighbors, that's fine by us. Don't come over to these property. All good. So I went, did a bunch of interviews around with the neighbors. They absolutely loved Ovidio, loved the Guzmans. Old people, old sick people saying that Ovidio and the Guzman's family has always helped them out with medicines, with money, with whatever they needed, right? But again, if you look at their homes, very, very poor people,
Really?
Poor people, man, without anything, without a car, without, like old washing machines, not food on their fridges, absolutely poor.
I wouldn't expect this guy to live in a neighborhood like that.
It was one of his properties outside the city, where he was hiding. The thing was, he was hiding there because he couldn't celebrate Christmas or New Year's Eve with his family because he knew he was being sought after. So he waited until all that went through, a couple of days into January, and then he brought over his daughters, his wife, and a couple of friends to have a family party on that property. And so when they got him, he was asleep. He got a bit drunk last night, stayed up until late. So these guys just, boom, let's do it right now while he's asleep. So I interviewed the neighbors, and I noticed that his family and the attorneys left the property. And I was like, this is probably a good time. It's now or never, I need to go in. I need to see what happened inside his house, how he was living. I need to just go inside his house. I told the photographer I'm going in. And he's like, dude, if you spend more than 5 minutes in there, we're leaving. We're taking off. We're leaving you there. There's people around circling, sicarios, henchmen. And we're just making it look as if we're taking photos from outside. But even from outside, dude, bullets everywhere, unexploded grenades. It was blood everywhere.
Wow.
So I found a hole on the wall, on the wire he had on the wall, and I literally jumped over the hole inside his house and started recording. I had my phone in a GoPro, and I started recording everything inside. And inside was war zone, like heavy, like 50 calls all over, blood all over, man. I was like stepping in sticky blood all over.
No kidding.
Yeah, dude. Like,
And you have footage of
I
this?
have footage of that shit, man.
Can we put it in?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send you the footage. It's crazy stuff. And then I went into his daughter's room, completely like soaked in blood. I don't know. I don't think it was from them. It was from his henchmen that tried to hide inside the house where they were still fighting the government. But yeah, man, it was very contrasting because you will have a setting of a family party, right? Wine bottles, expensive wine bottles, dinner table, plates, a ¿cómo se llama? What we call a nacimiento in Spanish, which is baby Jesus and the whole. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like a nativity scene.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. They had that in the party of the backyard. But at the same time, everything was like riddled with bullet holes and blood and unexploded grenades, 50 calls. And his closet, he had a bunch of Rolex boxes open. The Mexican military stole everything he owned, man. Everything. Expensive shoes, expensive shirts, tennis shoes, Rolex, Hubble watches he had there, jewelry. It was all empty. And I asked the neighbors, and they're like, we watched how the Mexican government was putting everything on pillow sleeves and taking it all out. They took everything. So I recorded the whole thing. And I was, I was coming out, I remember finding a hole. It was a tunnel disguised as a water system, you know. But it was a tunnel. And then I asked my guy, like, hey, can I go out now? And he's like, no, just like stay there. You can hear in the video I shot, my fucking heart was racing, man, because these guys were right outside when I was trying to get out, and I could hear the motorcycle circling.
Government or cartel?
The cartel guys. And I was like, if they find me inside this place, they're not gonna shoot me. They're not gonna kill me. They're gonna call the authorities. They're gonna put me in jail. And they're gonna torture me for several fucking years in a Sinaloa jail. Man. So I was like, stay hidden for a couple of minutes until this guy told me, it's now, man. Like, you need to get out. Now we're leaving. So I went again through the hole. I was so nervous that I fell back on my back. I was like, then I handed over the camera. So like, dude, just leave. I'll get out. I managed to go out. I immediately switched the footage, the card to SIM cards and everything. And as we were getting out, we got stopped by the checkpoint of these guys, and they just literally asked me like, "Everything good?" And I'm like, "All good." And he's like, "You're done?" And I'm like, "All done." And they're like, "Okay, be safe." And I'm like, "Thanks." And off we went. They put a guy to follow us until probably they were expecting us to go outside the town, and then he'll just get back. On our way out, I was still like kind of shaking with adrenaline, and you know, I was still like, shit, man. I can't believe I have this footage. I can't believe I have this story, and these guys are still following us. And I need to catch my. Two of my flights were already left, so I had one left, but by 5 p.m. and it was already like 3 or some shit like that. And we're driving out, and then the fucking car breaks, like in the middle of a nowhere highway with these henchmen following us. And I was like, my life, dude. I was like, what happened? And then this dude was like, I don't know, man, it overheated. So I went to a corner store, got some water and Gatorades, and poured the fucking Gatorades on the radiator. It's like, oh, shit. We just need to get out of here, man. Yeah. I'm sorry for your car. We managed to leave, lost my flight. So I had to go into one of the hotels I had booked. Went to that hotel. Turns out the attorneys and Ovidio's mom were staying in that hotel that night. So I was like, I still had like somewhat long hair. I put a hoodie over, went into my room, cut my fucking head off, and left everything ready to go. You know, I was just literally just waiting for my next flight the next morning.
How did you know that the His attorney and who?
His
mother?
and his mom, yeah. Because I watched them on the restaurant. As you enter the hotel, there's a lobby and there's a restaurant, and they were sitting at that restaurant, So I watched them. I was like, oh, they're here. So I just literally went for the elevator, put a hoodie on. I remember recording on my phone, like, oh shit, these guys are here. I'm just getting ready to leave tomorrow. I can't wait, Then this morning I left like 5 a.m. Stay a couple of hours in the airport. The 2 longest hours of my life at the Culiacan airport. I was like, I need to leave. And I left. So those 2 things made these guys, or at least one faction of these guys, not happy about my work, right? When I posted this shit, went viral, went everywhere, and they were like, this motherfucker broke in Ovidio's house, he recorded everything. Which, if I'm being honest, I'll think like, dude, you probably can prove a case. You got stolen by the Mexican government. They shot at your whole place, not giving any fuck about your daughters being here and your wife, Could probably use that.
Yeah.
But I know they got mad at me because of that shit.
I mean, does that bother you? What is when you have an insider of the federal government on the U.S. side saying, "Hey, I just want you to know you got a $60,000 bounty on your head. We just recovered this off a device."
Hey everybody, I'm Shawn Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Shawn Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.